Hello, people. We're back one more time. This is the LUKE-N-SHAE'S place.
It is the fact.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Look it.
No, go
I
ahead. It's
messed up.
natural. Go ahead.
It's not natural.
That is natural. We're not
Okay,
into that.
well, it's the silly hat segment for our New Year's Eve. So we're just having a little hat day here.
Again, we having a little fun, but at the same time, we're going to talk about what Happy New Year's to everybody, or early pre-Happy New Year's to everyone. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. Do you have any resolutions you would like to share? Hit us in the comment section.
Yes, and before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. That's one of my resolutions, to get you guys to subscribe.
We're going to get to 50 subscribers real soon.
Yes.
So we can do more live stuff and interact with you even more. So it's like I said, get us there, and we'll do the rest. Our New Year's resolution. I don't generally make New Year's resolutions, because nobody ever stayed to them to the end, but we always say losing weight, and I think that's probably number one. But outside of losing weight, I don't have any other than that. But I guess get better shape this year than last year. But that still will fall under the head of losing weight. But just like I said, everybody got different resolutions this year. Some people want to stop smoking. Some people even might want to stop drinking. Whatever yours is, leave it down in the comment section. Let's see what yours is.
Yes, we'd like to hear it.
Now, we were going to start this show off today.
Do I get to say one?
Oh, go ahead. That's right.
I don't really have one either. Like
No,
you already named them.
Now you gotta come up with
But you
one.
know, I do. My resolution, one of the goals I would like to have this year, Luke, is to bring more positivity to the different social media outlets that we're on. You know, just connect with people in a positive way. You know, and again, I say it every year, and I do it every year, but getting closer to God. You know, however that looks for me. Every year, I just, staying in the Word, my goal is finding a church home, and I finally just got an invite to a church, so I'm happy about that. But, just getting closer to God and spreading positivity, just getting our viewers to just wear their smile more than they ever did. So if we can do that, that would be a great goal of mine.
That's a wonderful one. Wonderful. Very wonderful. Now, let's get to the hot topic subject of the day.
Ooh, what are we talking about today, Luke?
We're talking about, where's it here? Hold on one little second here. The question is, she needs money for an emergency, but you didn't have anything to give. Is she wrong for getting the money from her ex? How do you feel about that?
Okay, so you said she needs money for an emergency, but you didn't have anything to give. Is she wrong for getting the money from her ex? So we can actually make that vice versa for both. Basically, is it okay to get money from an ex if your mate doesn't have it for emergency situation? Okay, so being
that a man is more provider, I don't think he would go to his ex. He's
Okay.
a different kind of guy, I don't do it with the Pookies and Ray Rays, but I hear what you're saying, but that would be a Pookie and Ray Ray if they went to their ex to get some money.
Okay, so
this
specifically
question
for women.
is like one-sided in that sense.
All right, so since it's going that way, as I can actually talk about it from a personal aspect, I actually can relate to this. I've experienced it before. And
so you ever went to your ex for some money and you had a boyfriend?
Yes,
different?
I have, and yeah. So in like you said, an emergency situation, like it was an emergency situation. It was like, okay, one of those things. But you go to your man first.
How did your man feel about that? See, that's the question, because that's where this all involves around. Because how the mate feels about you going to that person, that's the real issue.
Okay, so in the situation, in the times that I have, Okay, so it depended on the situation. Like normally, no, I don't feel like that would be my thing. But when you feel like you're pushed in a corner and you have an emergency, and it's like, okay, that person is somebody that I can turn to in a situation like that. Not that that's a good thing, because I don't think, like you said, a male is gonna want their woman to go to their ex. I'm pretty sure that makes them feel like, okay, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And at the time I did it, there was an emergency situation. I did go to my mate first. I went to my boyfriend first at the time, and I told him the situation, and I said, "Hey."
I told your boyfriend you going.
I asked my boyfriend for the funds first, for the money, because the question is, you needed money for an emergency, but your mate or your boyfriend didn't have it. So, because it was a situation, and I believe at the time it was a situation with my car. My car is how I get to work. It's how I transport my children back and forth, whether to school, appointments, and everything. So, yes, it was an emergency situation. My car needed to be fixed at the time, I remember. And I did go to my boyfriend first. I went to my boyfriend in that situation first, and he couldn't do it at that time. He was, whatever the situation, he just paid his bills.
But see, that's the situation. The situation there is different. I remember an episode, because the reason, and that's what we're going to touch on, is the reason men would have an issue with it. That's why it became a relationship question, is because men would have an issue with it based off of, I remember the episode of Martin, where Gina ended up borrowing money from Cole. And in that episode, see, because men think in terms, I want to say of, well, in that episode, he was thinking more in terms of the sexual payments.
Okay.
Meaning that now this person holds something over your head, and no man should be able to hold anything over his woman's head. Mm-hmm. And in that sense right there, because again, that's basically how you pay your bills right there. And so he looked at it from that aspect. So no man want his woman having to owe another man, or having to go over, because then the other man, because I guess a lot of guys would know themselves in that situation. So like I said, I think they would probably be like, well, you know what, you could pay it back in other ways. There's other ways of paying it back in that sense. But that's where the issue would really fall in under, with that right there being said. So that's why I was asking, how did you even comment or even ask her?
So no, it started off with just me going to him for the help first. Like, hey, and it was more so borrowed. Hey, can I borrow this for, my car situation? And again, at the time, he didn't have it. Bills were just paid. And so then, in a panic, I'm like, okay, I have to do something, because I need to have my car. This is a must. I have to get to work. Mm-hmm. Kids have to be, go back and forth to school. It was an emergency.
Well,
so yes, at that time I did. What I should have done was ask my boyfriend, hey, is it okay if I ask my ex? But I didn't. I texted my ex first, and I'm like, hey, I have this situation. Right. Are you able to help?
But at the same time, you don't think you could have went without or seeked another?
No. What am I going to miss work? And
Hillary,
there was Facebook, no way I could not have my car.
Hillary responded, yes, it's wrong. We got one comment says, go to your mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, or girlfriend, etc. One says, Amy says, what's the emergency? Jeanette says, it depends on the emergency. Elsie says, no, it's not wrong.
Okay.
And Crystal say, yes, wrong, go to the bank and get a loan. Okay.
Well, in that process of trying to go to a bank and get a loan, it's like, okay, that sounds long and drawn out. So the quickest thing I could do, because yes, my ex and I, we have children together. So I have children with him. So
Tia said, nope, it's an emergency. Well, go ahead.
It's an emergency when you have okay, yes, it was an emergency for me on my part in my situation with the kids.
So you don't want to discuss your emergency? What was your emergency?
The emergency, I said it already. My car. I had an issue with my car. My car needed to be fixed. So the thing about my ex, though, it wasn't just a matter of dishing out money. It was a matter of, I've had it happen a couple times. What he would do is, and I could be far away, what he would do is he would drive to where I was and attempt to fix it. First, he would attempt to fix my car. So yes, I had to tell my boyfriend at the time, hey, I know you didn't have the money for me to put the car in the shop. You know, I did reach out to my ex and ask him. And so I told him and I'm like, is that okay? And during those times, it was like, oh, okay, no problem. Okay. He said, okay, no problem. But I later found out that, when it became a thing of me going to him first and, okay, my second would be my ex, then he told me, hey, he would try his best to try to get whatever I needed first. And he's like, hey, I don't really like you having to go to your ex for, money and things like that. But my ex, it wasn't just about the money. He would try to fix the car. Most of the time he could. He would fix the car first. And he would go get the parts. He would go to the store, get the parts and whatever he needed. Or if I needed something crazy, he would put the car, give me money for it to go in the shop.
That's where the attitude is. The attitude inside of it. Because he is an ex. Meaning, that's where you're making it sound hunky-dory like everything is cheese. But in reality, to a man, that's not cheese. Because, see, the way we see it, again, because of the sexual favor and your sexual history, that would cause a problem in that whole thing because you've had sex with this person before, you've been intimate with the person. Okay. So yeah, that would.
So even if that was like
let's
like 20 plus years ago, because I know the other day when we had
if your man went to his ex and were asking for money, and he got the money from the ex, and then he told you he got money from the ex, what would be the first thing you ask?
Okay, so did he ask me first?
No, he didn't ask you first.
So that's a problem. Now, see, what I said is I went to my man first.
Again.
I went to him first. And was his an emergency?
I'm assuming it is.
Was his an emergency? And he didn't come to me first and I'm his woman. I'd have a problem with that because you didn't come to me first.
The established question.
I should be the one you're coming to first.
You're messing up the question because, see, the established question is saying that you did not have it.
So okay, so he came to me and I didn't have it.
That you didn't have it. So that's the part of the question. Is we're assuming you did not have it. So now, how would you feel he went to his ex, went to a house, and picked up the money at that point in time? What would your feelings be then?
Okay, what my feelings would be, honestly, and he told me about it, I wouldn't have, knowing my situation, if that was the situation he had with his ex, if they had children or whatever the case, that I really can't say that I would be upset with that because that's where trust comes in. Well, there's trust. So for my situation, my ex and I haven't been together for over 20 some years. Like my oldest child he's a girl. So that my kids are it's like I haven't been in a relationship with him for so many years. That's not even, there's no backwards. That's where trust comes. And I know you said that in another episode that we had, when it's over a certain amount of years, then okay, nobody's looking at each other, whatever the case might be. Okay, a man can call on their ex to take them somewhere, whatever. Yeah. People do it all the time. I'm in a relationship. That's where trust comes in, though.
But that's different.
If I didn't have it and he came to me and it was an emergency that was the only person he should ask.
You can't understand it as a man and a woman. Like I said, you would have a problem if that man went to his ex and went to the house and picked up the money.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Because, see, the way that works, again, because he has a sexual history with that person.
Okay, the thing about that is, because I'm saying it, that would make me a hypocrite. with my situation with my ex, and it was an emergency. It was a car situation. People got to get to work.
You keep stressing the emergency.
You have to have. That's what the question was.
Again,
you have to have trust in your relationship. No, I do not. I don't agree that should be a thing. I don't. If you know, especially, okay, now being in a marriage, that shouldn't be a thing. Nobody should be turning to their exes. At that time in my life, years ago, yes, I did turn to my ex for help. That was just something that I went to my boyfriend at the time. He didn't have it, and so I went to my ex because that was who was close at the time. No family members were close, and that was just the outlet I had.
Well, see, the thing is, I would have sought a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, somebody other than,
like I said, my family members weren't even close to me. And at the time, my parents living in North Carolina, I wasn't bugging. I needed my car to be fixed then. That needed to be somebody where I could go get that money or however that was going to be. I couldn't go because my car was messed up. But somebody that was close enough that didn't mind driving to me and helping with that. I needed that then. It wasn't like, okay, I can wait till you put something in the mail or, and at that time there wasn't even Cash App. There wasn't Cash App or anything at that time.
If I said to you at that point in time, would the boyfriend that you asked for the money, would he sleep with you if the opportunity presented itself?
My ex? Would he?
Yeah.
I would have to be the one to do that, right? I would have to say yes to that. He's a man, right? So for me, I wouldn't sleep with him. I wouldn't.
The question ain't whether or not you sleep. We're asking if the opportunity presented itself.
How would I know that?
Meaning if he asked you for sex.
How would I know if the opportunity presented itself, what he would do at this many years past now? How could I answer that?
Because we all have a vibe of the person that we're with.
Okay.
And so again, if would that person propose sex to you?
No.
As a payment option?
No, that wouldn't be a thing. Never been a thing. That was never a thing.
So you said at this point in time in this relationship, this person would not sleep with you if you was messed up and he had to bring you home. You could trust him to undress you, take your clothes off, put your nightgown on, and
I
put you to
wouldn't want
bed.
him to do that. That you're going to the extreme. That's extreme. Who would want their ex to undress me? You could just put me in the bed with my clothes on.
Okay, so that's what a friend would do. See, so when we put down a friend ain't gonna mess with you no matter what because they look at it as being
and
friends.
My ex is not like a friend. He's more like a family member. You're talking about we have children together. Our families are friends together. So I do trust that he would take me home and there would be no kind of.
I feel like you're skating around the answer. The question is, if the opportunity presented itself, would he attempt to sleep with you? You're not answering that.
And I said no.
Okay.
I already said no. I said no.
Okay.
I trust that he would not do that. Could I answer that, I straight up, I don't know. Like I said, in a situation that never came up. I don't know, but just from what our communication and things over the years, no. I would say no. He respects my...
We're gonna leave that one right there. And
hold on, because I didn't get to ask you, because you want to leave that one right there, sir. I didn't ask you, so in a situation with you... How would you ever do something like this? Like as far as the ex or...
Oh no,
do you call on your ex for anything?
No, I wouldn't call on her for that.
Okay, do you call on her for anything? Any of your exes for anything?
Nothing. Because I don't look at it like that.
None of your exes?
None. I don't have no exes here in Georgia.
Okay.
See?
Now I'm trying to understand. You don't have any exes?
Not in Georgia.
Nobody. Okay, so my situation was my children's father. You don't have anybody that you've been in a relationship, you have kids with that are here.
I have kids with a woman, but at the same time...
Would you call on her for anything?
No, I wouldn't call on her for no money, no.
No, okay, not for money, but you would call on her for help with something, right? You have that relationship where you could call for help with something, no matter what it is. No. Help with something.
No, I don't see myself asking no woman, even in an emergency. I would rather go without.
Okay.
that's just the way I am because.
So if you had a car that was broke down, okay, you could, and it was a storm coming. I'm just asking a question. So there's a storm coming.
The question is, it's based off of the person that's in a relationship.
Yes, okay.
So while in a relationship, no, I would not call anybody.
If you're in a relationship, you wouldn't.
I'm in a relationship because see, that dynamic would mess up and cause confusion within that relationship.
Yeah, now.
So no, as a man, and then how would that make me look as a man saying, okay, yeah, I had to call my ex to come do this or do that. Because she would have a problem with it regardless, because even if she couldn't help, she still would have an issue with it. She still would give me all kind of backlash with the whole mindset of, well, you know what? She would rather you go without in that situation.
See, and I've never been in a relationship where my man had an ex that he had children with. So, and for me, okay, when I was looking at that situation, I would trust, okay, if they had kids together and, you know, this person is now, his ex is now married or something like that. But no, if she's single and he's going over there and it's like, okay, that would make me have a question mark with that whole thing. In my situation, my ex was in a relationship. I was in a relationship. My boyfriend at the time and him would actually sit in front of my house sometimes and talk sports together. We had a relationship where we all got along, so it wasn't drama. There was nothing. So I just wanted to clarify that there was no drama. So when I went to my boyfriend and told him, hey, I needed this done with my car, and I called, you know, I asked my ex for it, whatever the case might be, and I'm gonna need to pay him back. So what my boyfriend then did, when I had to pay my ex back, or anytime I had to pay him back, then my boyfriend, he would have it and say, hey, give this to him to take care of the bill that he helped with. And he would come out and tell him. He'd say, oh, thank you for taking care of that, man. You know, he would thank him.
Well,
but no, I don't think he was happy with it. And today I wouldn't do that.
We're going to wrap this up right here. It went a bit long, but we hope you enjoyed the conversation. And
we would like to know what you think. Would you, in that situation, the question was, would you be okay with your mate basically borrowing money from an ex if you didn't have it?
And how would you feel about it? We'd like for you to like, subscribe, and share. But do us a big favor. Comment on this. We would like to get your feedback to see what you think about borrowing from an ex. Whether, you know, however you're, as the woman borrowing from the ex or as the man dealing with the woman borrowing from the man. We'd like to hear all this from you. And we thank you for joining us again, and we'd like to wish you guys a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we look forward to you guys in the future and in the new year doing bigger things. And help us get to the 50 subscribers so we can get this thing live.
Yes.
But also help us get to the 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the goal, the ultimate. So we look for you guys to help us out there. So again, we hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to other shows and looking forward to you guys joining us.
Till next time.
Till next time. Peace.